recap. It's week number 7 in the GMC as we head to Beckett Ridge here in the new year. Lakota West and Middletown next on Chatterbox Plus. Hey, good evening to you. Along with the coach Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. Happy New Year to you, and welcome to 2023, partner. It's been a long while between drinks of water, and I'm glad to see you here in the new year.
Absolutely, Jeff. It's exciting to be here again on Chatterbox and get us two GMC matchups that we're both very excited about. And they're in that gauntlet part of the GMC where we were talking. They're not at the top half, they're not at the bottom, but they're in that middle, both these teams. So it's going to be an exciting night.
Absolutely. One of the things that we were drawn by was, the notion of star power tonight, and I think this will play into your keys to this ball game because we're going to be absent a big star tonight.
Yeah, a little bit different for us, but it's going to be preparation for some guys for Lakota West. But yeah, Nathan Dudukovic is not playing tonight. Jeff, you and I both were able to talk to his mom here for about 10 minutes, and he's got a thigh injury, tissue injury. That he hurt, that he got hurt in a Mason game, I believe is what she said.
Absolutely.
So, but what that does allows others to step up. Who's it going to be for Lakota West? Is Drain going to step up? Is Lavender going to step up? Is Curry going to step up? Somebody's going to have to, but it's going to be opportunity for somebody for Lakota West.
Well, and to that point here, partner, that means Jim Leon's going to have to emphasize team play tonight.
Yeah, the thing is he got hurt on Tuesday. So that gives him 2 days to prep without having Nathan Dudukovic. Now, the other thing on the other side of the court with Middletown Middies is they've been preparing for 2 straight days on how in the world are we going to stop number 13, who's leading the GMC in scoring and is the all-time leading scorer in Lakota history. But, now they're going to have to maybe change their game plan. This is going to be a chess match, but you got 2 really good coaches. You got Coach Leon, who's in his 29th year in coaching, and then you got Coach Moss, who's in his 2nd year at Middletown, but he's 9th year, so he's a veteran head coach. So it's going to be a chess match tonight for sure.
So no Dudukovic, but as we kind of look towards your keys to this ball game here as well, on the other side from Middletown, I think they're led by somebody that we were very impressed by a year ago, Isaiah Day.
Coach had a lot of great things to say. I said, tell me about him, not him as a player. And he says, Coach, he is a great kid, an extremely hard worker. The thing he did this offseason, Jeff, is he lived in the weight room and became more athletic. Not necessarily more stronger, but he did do that as well, but became more athletic. And so he said his work in the weight room, hats off to the weight room coordinator at Middletown, but Isaiah Day is not only a great scorer because he can score at all 3 levels, he's just an incredible kid as well.
Well, one of the things that was on display a year ago in the sectional final, that was right here in Beckett Ridge. He put up 30 and 10 in that game against Sycamore. Right. And the high raisers that they have with the Aviators.
Oh, yeah. And I asked about his recruiting. Where is he? He said, he's already committed. He's going to Taylor University. So Coach Andrews, former Middletown head coach, who's now the head coach at Taylor University, he snagged him another player out of the GMC, and he's living off these guys. He's living off these GMC players. You got Jackson Lewis over there from Hamilton High right now, and had Ryan Robinson from Hamilton High. Got a player from Lakota East. His name's slipping my mind right now. I apologize for that, Jeff. But, yeah, so he's a great player. The player I want to look at from Middletown, if you don't mind, if we're still talking about players, is a guy named Jeremiah Landers, number 2, sophomore. He's an inside-outside guy. Coach told me that he, in his opinion, is the top 2 or 3 sophomore in all of Southwest Ohio. He said he's a special, special player. So Jeremiah Landers, looking forward to seeing him play.
Very quick, good hands.
Yes.
Should be a pest out on the perimeter.
Oh,
here.
Yeah. Yep.
As we are mentioning, Lakota West 4 and 7 right now. A little uncharacteristic for them at this time of year, but a lot of out-of-conference play, and that's been part of the problem. They are 3 and 3 in conference. Meanwhile, Middletown is 6 and 4. And a little stark difference from where they were a year ago, where they were in the throes of an 8-game losing streak going into the tournament. And they seem to have found their way. I think the St. Xavier game in the tournament actually really started to allow Coach Moss to really establish the program.
Absolutely. On Lakota, what you said, out of conference loss, they went down to Florida. played some really, really good teams. You never know when you go on these trips. You go to Myrtle Beach, you go to Charleston, South Carolina, Florida, wherever it may be, the teams you play, you really just don't know. They played some really, really good teams down in Florida, and they won a game down there, but they lost 2, and then they just lost to Mason Tuesday night, Lakota West. On the other side, like you said, for the Middletown Middies, let me tell you right now, Coach Moss took over a very bad situation, just to be frank. He has really turned it around. The youth program, over 200 kids now. The middle school teams are playing well. They're all starting to do stuff that he asked them to do. And they lost to Princeton 4 games ago. But, Jeff, they were up. I watched the game a little bit on YouTube. They were up in that game. They kind of gave it away, to be perfectly honest with you. Then they beat Edgewood for Purcell Marion, and then they got beat by Sycamore the other night. So I think Coach Moss, he hasn't turned that corner yet, but he's right up at the corner, and he's doing a great job with the Middletown Middies.
Right now, and as we're talking about the Middies, 3-3 in conference. They're lumped in with West as well as Mason and Lakota East, and that is a tough middle to be in.
That's what I said. It's a gauntlet, man. It is a gauntlet, and to be in that middle right now, it's again, I think it's the best basketball conference in Southwest Ohio, and to be in that middle, man, it is an absolute war. Again, I just said Princeton's number 2 in the conference, and Middletown had them beat. They had them beat. So it was at Princeton. So the gauntlet is real. It's some really good basketball, some great players, and like I always say, some really, really good coaching too.
As you were alluding to in prior games here, the last time out, the Firebirds dropped their 3rd straight on Tuesday, losing at Mason 60-40. Devon Drain led West with 10 points in that game. There's a side note to that, we'll get to it. Meanwhile, Middletown dropped a 59-47 decision to Sycamore on Tuesday. And the Aviators in that game dominated the boards 31-14. You know that Coach Moss has made that a key point going into tonight.
Well, we talked about it. He said rebounding is the key. Rebounding is the key. Speed and up-tempo is the key for Coach Moss, and execution on offense. Those 3 things he talked about. And on the other side for Lakota West, honestly, Jeff, they're going to have to be really good in transition defense. The Middletown Middies run the ball up the floor, and then they try to get it reversed a couple times. But if you don't get back in transition defense for Lakota West, you are in trouble. And the other thing West is going to have to do tonight, Jeff, that we're going to watch, how patient can they be when they don't have Dudukovic? Like, are they going to take high percentage shots? Are they going to get a reverse? Is anybody going to know how to shoot the ball? Because he shoots it a lot. But it's going to be really neat. It's going to be interesting to see this game.
We buried the lead on the game in regards to Lakota West. Nathan Dudukovic went out with an injury with that thigh contusion that Debbie Dudukovic, his mother, told us about prior to this ball game. And that's the first time that he'd been held to under double digits in scoring for the first time in 32 consecutive games.
I couldn't believe it. It makes me think he might have gotten hurt early. I don't know, but who knows? To stop him, it takes a team effort. It's not a one-on-one deal. It's like Coach Moss told me prior to this, without knowing that Dudukovic hurt, is every time that Dudukovic had the ball, Coach Moss said, get 3 on him. Not necessarily 3 on the ball, but 2 in really, really good help and somebody on the ball. So, Mason must have did a really good job of guarding him Tuesday night.
The last time these 2 teams met, it was an overtime game here in Beckett Ridge last year on February the 12th. The Middies won that game 60-52. Nathan Dudukovic poured in a game-high 26. The Middies got a team-high 22 from Taiwan Hall off the bench.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That was a great game. I expect that tonight.
Middies have won 2 in a row here in this city, in this series. The last time West beat the Middies, it was in Middletown on February 5th, 2021, 67-54. I believe we're due for a timeout. So we'll step aside right here. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the opening tip. When we return, it's our game of the week here on Chatterbox Plus. We're just moments away from the start of this one here in Beckett Ridge. Let's give you the starting lineups here. First, we're visiting Middletown. The Middies are 6-4, 3-3 in the GMC. Kelvin Moss in his second year at the helm, 17-18 after 2 years at Fenwick, 27-19. As easy as 1, 2, 3. 1 is Delmar Blanton, that 6 foot tall, a junior. He's a center. I beg your pardon, a guard. 2 is Jeremiah Landers, 6'2", a sophomore guard. 3, Michael Maldonado at 5'9", a sophomore guard. Up front, it's 23, Isaiah Day, 6'4", a senior, and 30 is Isaac Stamper, 6'8", a junior. Lakota West, the Firebirds come in with a record of 4-7, 3-3 in the GMC. Jim Leon is the head coach in his 5th year with this program, 53 and 57 in his 29th year overall, 504 and 340. Bryson Curry will be at a guard spot wearing the number 1, 5'10", a junior. 10 is Jason Lavender, 6'3", a senior forward. 12 is Devon Drain, 6 foot tall, a junior. 21 is Christopher Barber at 6'3", a senior up front, and manning the pivot to start things off. 24 is Luca Gilbert at 6'7", a sophomore.
Not really a surprise there, Jeff, on the Middies. They have 3 guys who transferred in this year. Blanton from Trotwood Madison, Landers from Northmont, Clayton Northmont, and Stamper from Middletown Christian. We'll talk a little bit about Stamper throughout the game. He's really starting to figure it out. And then for Lakota West, it looks like Luca Gilbert's going to get a start for the Dukovic. Again, who's going to step up? That's what's exciting about that. But look for Lavender, who is really a senior. He's played a lot of games here at West. Maybe him take on that role for some of that scoring that Lakota West is desperately going to need.
We have mentioned Dukovic quite a bit. Obviously, he is out. He became, by the way, Lakota West's all-time leading scorer.
Yes.
Earlier this season, the second game of the year, when he scored his 29th point of his 31 that he collected over Oak Hills on December 2nd. His 1,211 points that night past Dan Hutzelman, who was a 99 grad.
Yes.
He's now at 1,419.
The question I have, Jeff, and I don't have the answer, and I'm hoping that we can maybe get it at some point, is who's the all-time leading scorer at East? I think it's Dews, right? James Dews. How many points does he have at Lakota East?
We'll have to figure
It's
that
a
one
lot.
out.
It's a lot. I know that. I'd be interested to see if the Dukovic passed him.
Luca Gilbert, Isaac Stamper, taps controlled by West, and away we go here in Beckett Ridge. It's Bryson Curry in between the circles. Guarded by Maldonado, plays over Barber, low right, stuck there. As Middletown runs man defense to start things off. Here's Barber, stuck on the elbow, and they stay around the arc. 23 seconds gone on by.
Some really good defense by the Middies.
3 off the left wing, no good for Devon Drain. And here comes Middletown, their first crack on offense.
Middletown, great defense there. Had to play it for a little over 30 seconds. A good solid man-to-man, as you mentioned, Jeff.
Well, the interior was clogged up very well by the Middies.
Great help side.
They play it down low and back outside. 3 from the corner, no good for Isaiah Day. And the big man, the big tight end on the football team, Luca Gilbert, gets the rebound.
Good spacing by the Lakota West Firebirds here. Not a lot of off-the-ball screening, just a lot of spacing, passing cut, trying to open up driving lanes. As you said, Jeff, Middletown's doing a great job of help position here.
Devon Drain out high on the right, looks down to the corner. It's the big man, the tight end, Luca Gilbert, stuck down low on the baseline, and they'll play it back outside. Minute and a half gone on by here in this one. Still no score getting started. Lavender low left, puts it up off the window, and first blood drawn by Lakota West.
Great post move. Patience going off 2 feet down in the left block there as the Middies get things spread out. Coach Moss does a really good job of running set plays, so it looks like he just called a set play here for the Middies.
Michael Maldonado plays Jeremiah Landers, who you talked glowingly about in the pregame.
Got a little shuffle down screen.
It's Blanton on the elbow, a little scooper, no good. And another rebound to Luca Gilbert. And this one tapped away and recovered by Blanton for Middletown, and they'll reset up front. It's Landers stuck low left, back outside Maldonado. Kelvin Moss, the head coach, we hear him exhorting the offense from up here. If he was any further out on the floor, he might have to check in.
He's yelling Duke, so I don't know if this play will work or not since I'm a Kentucky fan, but there it is.
And we're tied up. Stamper gets deuce, and where you got our first tie of this ball game, 5:23 to go here in the first.
Stamper with a nice little hook shot inside.
Here's a long two and good for Bryson Curry, averaging 4 points a ball game.
You know, the scouting report on Curry, Jeff, last year was make him shoot it from the perimeter. And although that wasn't a three-point shot, that was a nice pull-up for him.
Out of bounds up front, and Lakota West will take over the lead in the ball with 5:10 to go.
Got our first sub here for Middletown. Dalen Jamison comes in, number 5. He's a junior guard.
5'10", as you mentioned, a junior, averaging about 2 points a ball game when we got a hole. Maldonado guilty of it as he tried to get in the way of Bryson Curry.
Those fouls at 84 feet drive coaches nuts. Maldonado wants to try to put some pressure on him to make him hurry up here, but can't play with your chest.
Again, Maldonado has the assignment on Bryson Curry, who's in the book on the last jumper. Drive off the wing, and one! Devon Drain will go to the line for an old-fashioned three-point try.
It all started with the Iverson cut right off the top there. If you look at it, then it clears the baseline on that Iverson cut. I call that because Allen Iverson for the Sixers used to make a living off that cut, Jeff. Cutting off and then driving the baseline because it's wide open.
So Jeremiah Landers picks up the personal. He'll exit the ball game. Chandler Shields at 6'3", a sophomore, will take his place in the Middletown lineup. And drained to the firing line, no good. Rebounded down low, and another one.
Oh.
It's a foul down low as the big man Luka Gilbert came up with it.
Yeah,
Fouls on Stamper.
Luka Gilbert with a really good free throw rebound, and Coach Moss can't be happy with that. Luka hasn't shot a ton of free throws, but he is a 36% free throw shooter as he knocks that one down.
As we had mentioned, a tight end on the football team, in fact, caught touchdowns in the last 2 playoff games.
Oh, wow, okay.
And he got them both. So that free throw percentage is going to go up.
Oh, yeah. He only had 3 attempts, so I don't want to make it sound too bad. But
it's a 6-0 run here for Lakota West with 4:38 to go here in this first.
A little 4-on-1 action, keeping the big guy inside for the Middies.
Planting the drive, shut off, beg your pardon, and now 3 from the corner, Maldonado. He breaks the 5-0 run, and it's 8-5.
Yeah, Maldonado with a good three-point shooting percentage, right around 37%.
Drain the runner and good again. And that might be the recipe tonight.
He might be the guy. He's done a great job. He scored mid-range, scored a couple times right at the basket.
Maldonado off the high screen, now penetrates in traffic. And we head the other way.
Looked like he took too many steps there.
So despite one tie so far in this ball game, Lakota West has yet to relinquish the lead. Barber sets the pick. Curry a little shake and bake. Lavender in the lane, 10 feet away, and no good, and we do head the other way.
Great rebound by Kellen Davis, who comes in, who's a senior, 6'5". Coach talked about him as bringing some strength to the table. He really loves his physicality for the Middies.
So an offensive foul on Lavender, and we head the other way. 3 team fouls on Middletown, 1, and that first one by Lavender for Lakota West.
High ball screen, down screen. They missed him here. There it is.
Day from long range knocks it down.
That's a great set piece. It's a ball screen, down screen. And again, Day. Instant offense, isn't he? Instant offense.
Isaiah Day averaging 15.5 a ball game. He's a 44% shooter from behind the three-point line, 10-8.
And Jeff, that is an incredible percentage for a high school basketball player. Anything over 39 to 40% is if you're shooting a lot of them like he is.
3 to answer back. No good for Devon Drain. And Middletown looking to tie or go ahead with a made 3. Lanton will control, averaging 8.5 a ball game. Jamison gets a touch, dumps it off into the ball, and Kellen Davis, as you had mentioned a minute ago. And they work it around, looking for Day out on the left corner, and he'll stay up front. You mentioned Day, an outstanding three-point shooter. And he seemed to have found his way a year ago, and he's only really improved ever since.
He has. And again, Coach talked more about his strength than anything else, but it has a lot to do with his ability to pull up like that right there, the nice little dump pass.
Oh, beauty. And we're tied up at 10. Kellen Davis off the assist by Day. Step through and a foul down low on the right with 2:20 to go.
Might have got Davis on the reach in there. Not really a block, but it was a reach in.
And they'll get Day on that. There were a couple of Middletown Middies down there. They'll get Day for his first.
Day getting a much-needed breather here for the Middies.
So that's 14 fouls, by the way, now for Middletown. Are you a little concerned with 2:20 left to go in the first?
Not necessarily. I mean, but it is only playing half-court defense, which that is a little concerning for Coach Moss. But one of them was Maldonado, again, 85 feet away from the hoop. Man, I don't know if that's a foul.
I got to tell you, it was a little bit here. Dalen Jamison, I don't know if you want to call that a block or a hand check. It was a little ticky-tack.
Well, it was good offense because he drove hard to the baseline, but I'm not so sure that it was a foul. But, you know, sometimes, Geoff, the coaches will go to a zone just to try to protect some of their players, but the Middies go about 8 deep, he said, consistently as far as players. So they have enough.
Gives it up, gets it back, and now a little two-man game up high as Barber puts it on the deck and kicks it out. Curry disdains three, got away with steps in the lane, and now back over for Lavender, and he's stuck in. Now he picks up feet.
Yeah, that one might look like Lavender used his pivot foot there, but what a great job defensively for Jamison for Middletown to kind of get ahead of him and make him pick up that ball.
1:48 to play here in this opening quarter, knotted up at 10.
Looks like here's another Iverson cut like Lakota West did.
Day up top, distributes. Three off the left side, Jamison misfires, and it's one and done this time down for the Middies.
Barber with a great weak side rebound.
Here's drain to the hole, no good, and this one will rattle out, and we will head the other way. So points were initially at a premium. It was a 6-0 run here by Lakota West to get them to 8-2, and then all of a sudden Middletown has caught back up, going on an 8-2 run of their own.
Absolutely. Again, both teams have capable scorers. Both teams tonight look like they're playing about 7 or 8 guys, too, as well, keeping guys fresh.
DeMar Blanton has the ball. 6-foot-tall junior. Landers has it now.
There's the clear out.
Day has isolation and has it taken away from him.
Barber with great defense. Lefty. Got his left hand in there and stole it.
Senior took it away. Curry plays it, and now the jumper good from the short corner. Luka Gilbert with 2 of his own. He's got 4 in the book, and he breaks the tie at 12-10.
Already 2 past his average, Geoff. He only averaged 2 points a game, getting that playing time tonight with some injured players for Lakota West Firebirds.
Well, I know he has talent. I was a little surprised to see him to take the 15-footer from the corner instead of seeing him down low on the block.
That's one of those shots when you're a coach. It's like, what are you? Nice shot, nice shot. Went under the screen there.
3 off the catch, no good, and we've got a foul as Landers will head to the line.
Geoff, I'm not a fan of people go under the screen. If you watch here on the underneath out of bounds play, the defender goes under it and allows him to go. You got to get on his hip and force him to run to that corner and not allow him to get a free shot. And you really, surely don't want to foul a three-point shooter.
So Landers gets his first point of the night.
Geoff,
just pick your heart.
Go ahead. This is the guy that Coach Moss was talking about, Geoff. He said he is one of the best sophomores. Sorry to interrupt you there, but one of the best sophomores in all of Southwest Ohio. Be on the lookout for this kid.
Jason Lavender picks up his second. He will head out. LJ Green takes his place. 73% shooter at the line by Verlanders, and he makes all three and gives Middletown the lead.
Middletown picking up a little bit of full court here with the last 30 seconds to go here in the quarter. Little run and jump.
Curry plays. Barber, nice, puts it on the deck and goes to the rack.
What a great ball fake by Barber.
Back the other way, no good. Kellen Davis fighting for it. It looks like he was tied up down on the block by Gilbert. Luka Gilbert's going to make an impression tonight in the absence of Nathan Dudukovic.
He is. If you look at his pass, little Barber just ball fakes the pass and drives it from the top of the key, left hand. That's probably the easiest basket he's had all year. And look what they do on underneath here.
They look in. It's Davis, team's quarterback, down on the block.
Usually this is a ball screen with 6 seconds to go.
Three from the corner, no good for Patrick Thomas. Rebounded to Luka Gilbert, and we've run out of time here in the first quarter. A fun one so far through 8 minutes. 14-13, Firebirds by 1 as we head to the timeout here on Chatterbox Plus. One-point affair here in Beckett Ridge along with Sean Van Winkle. I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Plus. As we have entered 2023, are you still writing 2022 on your checks and notes?
Well, I'm old school and I do write checks, Jeff. I'm probably the only person that does that still. But, yeah, it's definitely something I still do for sure. But both teams shot the ball well in the first half. We got the Middletown Middies at 44%. And Lakota West, Jeff, shot 60% in that first quarter. Great shooting effort by the Firebirds.
We had 2 ties and 2 lead changes as Barber has the ball to start things off here in quarter number 2.
Going to that zone a little bit, like I mentioned earlier, got a little bit of foul trouble with 5 team fouls. The Middies coming out in zone to start the second quarter. And a lot of times they do that too, Jeff, because you know Coach Leon is drawing a set play probably for man.
Cooper Taylor will fire up a 3, no good. He's into the ball game for the first time. Isaac Stamper the rebound for Middletown.
He played for Middletown Christian last year, and Coach Moss said he is really, really starting to understand the pace of GMC basketball. You're talking Division IV Middletown Christian, now playing Division I. That pace is way different. And he said now that they got through the new year, he's really starting to understand it well for the Middies.
Day on the catch and release for 3 off the front lip. And the rebound goes to Bryson Curry for Lakota West. In traffic, looking to create on the fly, checked by Jeremiah Landers. A minute gone by here in the second quarter, 14-13.
Middies staying in the zone, but they are extending it pretty wide.
It's Barber looking inside. Luka Gilbert one-on-one, shoots over Stamper and scores.
Did a great job. Middletown had their wing guys guarding 2 people on that weak side corner. They got the ball reversed and was able to get a little action, the Firebirds, on the weak side of the zone defense of the Middletown Middies.
Gilbert came in averaging 2.5 a ball game. He already has 6. It's 16-13. It's Day on the elbow. Back to Stamper. He sets up 3 straight on. No good. And it's a Lakota West rebound. Couple guys down there fighting for it amongst themselves.
Oh, yeah. That was Stamper's 6th 3 of the year.
Here's Taylor, fires 3 from the corner. No good, chased down by Day, and Middletown wants to run. And
timeout.
Now a timeout. Charge to Kelvin Moss. Not exactly happy with, you mentioned rhythm and pace.
It is.
And one of the things right now is they're a little out of rhythm right now.
They are. And, Lakota West has a lot to do with that. They're playing great defense in the half court. Now, the one thing they did do, they gave up that quick layup here to start the second quarter, but the guy, he didn't make it, but the transition defense wasn't there. But Lakota West has done a really good job to hold the Middies only 13 points so far, and a lot of it's been their half-court man-to-man defense.
Well, as we look at scoring comps, just throughout the first half of the season, Lakota West averaging about 53.5 points a ball game, but they're -4 throughout the season in differential. So some of the games that they're losing big. Whereas Middletown averaging 56.5 points a ball game, they are +7.5. And that's a good sign for them as they look to come back down by 3.
And Middletown, the last 5 games I think I looked at, they're close. They're in close to the 65 points a game they're averaging. So they're scoring a lot lately.
Partner, how much of that is muscle memory? Just the fact that you've got this much of a season gone on by, and players are just more comfortable triggering, especially off the catch.
This is where strength and conditioning comes in, and how good was your off season in the weight room. And Coach Moss is really, really excited about some of his players, in particular, obviously, with Isaiah Day, but all of them got in that weight room.
Day will trigger, and it's Delmar Blanton to run the point.
Little gate screen slip there. They missed Davis. Or missed Day, I'm sorry.
Landers looks inside, he'll back off.
Coach is going to wish he had that one again.
Well, the funny thing is, you think about designing plays in the timeout, right? Right now, they're still struggling to find position.
They are. They're using Day as a screener, which I really do like that. It allows him to slip a little bit.
Landers slips by, speaking of, a little skip pass.
They missed that one. That looked like it went off the Lakota. Well, maybe not.
Barber will trigger, 3/4 court, right in front of us. And Curry has run the point all night, and he has the ball now.
Curry was a solid point guard for West last year as well.
Well, he was an impact player down the stretch. Gilbert against the double team has patience. Rejected by Day, but they'll stay up front. It's Barber in the lane, throws it up with the left hand and good.
Barber's that glue guy who tonight's getting some points for the Firebirds.
It's a 5-point lead as Landers tries to make a move, shut off at the free throw line.
I've been really impressed, Geoff, thus far with Lakota West half-court man-to-man defense. They're not switching either. It's mano-a-mano, getting through screens.
Landers outside, 3 on the way! Chandler Shields.
Did a great job of getting a paint touch and then kicking it out for the 3.
It's 18-16, West by 2.
See, they're very patient right now, Geoff. Very, very patient. This is Coach Leon with his experience here. Don't be in a big hurry. Cut the possessions in half.
Curry gives it up, gets it back, and tries to drive in, finds Taylor. It seems like every time Cooper Taylor has touched the ball, he's looking to shoot or create.
Nice screen by Barber.
Drained for 3. No good. Chased down by Middletown, and it steps. Unfortunate for Stamper. Good effort on the chase down,
Right, it was.
but just an extra step.
It was a great effort by him. Just kind of got turned backwards there, trying to release the outlet pass, but really, really good effort by Stamper.
3:45 left to go here in this first half. 18-16.
Middies are still staying in this zone. Unless they're matching up now, I can't tell. Let's cut somebody. No, they're staying in their 2-3 zone. They're just really extending it out and really giving the Lakota West Firebird shooters the respect.
Curry plays drain out on the sideline, works in on Blanton, shut off by Delmar, and he'll have to come back out.
I'm wondering if West knows they're in a zone. They're kind of standing. There you go, Barber in a little inside out.
They'll reset. They look around, and another shot 15 feet away from Luka Gilbert.
It looks good, too. He squares up, gets his shoulders ready. Nice, good release, high release.
20-16, 8 points in the book for Gilbert. Oh, they played for Davis, blocked off the glass, and we got contact down low as well.
It's a nice pass, very nice passes. Kellen Davis steps up to the line again. Senior brings a lot of strength to the Middies. And he shoots around 50% from the foul line. That was a great, great pass. Good bounce pass. You know, I always talk about bounce passes a lot as a coach. they're so much easier to handle, Jeff.
Davis misfires on the first. Well, free throws don't win every game. They just win the close ones.
They do.
Throughout the season, Middletown has shot just a little under 71% at the line.
And that's not terrible, Jeff. I mean, it's not great, but that's not terrible.
Tough for Middletown. 2 misses down this last time down. Drain off the dribble. 3 on the way. No good, and a foul.
So 2 bad things happened there. That was a terrible shot, and then he fouled a three-point shooter. so looks like here he's going to pull up. He's guy's right in his face, kind of, but then he fouls him. Transition threes when everybody's back on defense are tough for coaches to handle, but he got lucky. He got bailed out there. He's stepping up to the line for West, and he shoots 77% from the foul line.
And the first one for Drain is good. That's 2 on Jeremiah Landers, by the way, who bailed out the shooter.
Sure did. That's not a foul that Coach Moss wants him to have. Still one more shot.
So already in this first half, we've already seen a three-point shooter get fouled twice in the act of shooting.
Yeah.
I'm thinking both Coach Jim Leon and Kelvin Moss, both are going to be talking about that.
Yeah, you don't want to foul that way. We got Trent Lloyd in right now for Lakota West Firebirds, number 11, football player.
3 from the corner! Knock it down for Chandler Shields again, his second trifecta tonight.
Sophomore for the Middies.
And he cuts it back to a 3-point ball game.
I mean, they do play a lot of underclassmen, the Middletown Middies do. I know, obviously, Isaiah Day is a senior.
Lloyd gets the ball up top, center jump circle. Star wide receiver on the football team the last few years. He drives, he pumps in the lane, and a blocking call.
And that's good. He's going to count that.
So, caught the continuation. The bucket goes, and he'll go to the line for the old-fashioned 3-point try.
That was strength. I mean, this is a football play. Look how strong he is inside there. He keeps his balance and is able to finish the shot. Trent Lloyd played a couple years ago, did not play last year, played a couple years ago. I love the way this kid plays. He's got grit, he's got energy. He's just a really, really fun kid to watch.
Second personal on Isaiah Day. That's the 7th team foul now this half for Middletown. Here's the bonus try and good for Trent Lloyd. We were one to call him, and we can verify that he does love this, that when he was a wide receiver, we called him the New York City Diner because he was open all night.
All night long.
Drive off the corner, no good. Here comes Lakota West. On a controlled 2-on-3, and they try to create nothing doing. Jamison takes it away.
Now this pace does not help Lakota West.
3, misses everything for Hollingsworth. Charles Hollingsworth into this ball game, missed everything. And with 1:37 left to go, it's still a 6-point ball game. Middletown will take the ball from underneath Lakota West's hoop. Kellen Davis checks out. Isaac Stamper checks back in. Stamper gets the ball. So we play on Chandler Shields, who's had a couple threes tonight. Plays it across the way. Drive, no good for Blanton, and here comes West. Trying to move, and this one intercepted. Shields takes it away from Lloyd. Skip pass, nearly too tall for Shields, and now this one out of bounds with 1:12 to go. We head the other way.
Middletown Middies really struggling in half-court offense right now. That's why you see a lot of controlled calls, a lot of set plays coming from Coach Moss, trying to almost dictate who shoots the ball most of the time down the court, because he does have a very young team, like I mentioned before.
One minute to play. Drive, Curry to the rack, no good, he'll go to the line.
Yeah, Coach Moss is not happy there because he's a lot of pressure, and then the lane just opens up as you watch him just drive the lane. There's no help side. Coach Moss really got on Blanton right there because Blanton was helping real high out on the shooter, and he needs to close that gap and not allow him to get into the paint.
That's 18 fouls on Middletown.
And although Bryson Curry hasn't scored yet for West, he's playing a really, really good defensive game. That was his first points of the night. Oh, I'm sorry. He's got 3 points. His defense has been incredible, though.
Yes. So, in keeping back with the notion of offense versus defense, we did mention that Middletown looks a little bit out of sorts in the half court.
Yep.
And this one, everything but the bucket. But to your point, West deserves credit on defense.
Absolutely. A lot of times we don't give credit where it's due.
Thomas misfires on 3. Lakota West wants to run on a 3-on-2. They'll catch up.
The coach does not want him to run as he's waving his hand. Get back, out. You want last shot here for Lakota West with only 36 seconds, but they turn the ball over. What a pass.
And a nice finish at the other side for Trayvon Bryant.
What a pass by Shields.
Back to a 5-point ball game, 26-21, and now you imagine they're going to play for a final shot.
This is where Curry becomes a leader. They'll usually set a high ball screen, maybe a drive and kick.
Lloyd stuck on the side, pocket right.
Nice pass.
They look inside and put it up. No good for LJ Green. Back the other way with a second to go. The throw up and the buzzer off the front lip, and we go to the half. Darius Cunningham nearly made this one a very fun one through the first 16. As it stands, Lakota West, the home team, leads it by 5 at 26-21. Partner, before we head to the break, I got to mention Luka Gilbert, 8 first-half points to lead the way.
Yeah, definitely. Only averaged 2 a game, like we talked about pregame and throughout the first quarter. He's really, really stepped it up big. Physicality, his strength is really helping him.
And he's stepped up where they thought they were going to have less scoring punch with Nathan Dudukovic out. Right now, they're holding their own at this point, up by 5 at intermission. We'll take a timeout here. When we return, we'll recap the first half and look ahead to half number 2 when we return on Chatterbox Plus. No Nathan Dudukovic, no problem. Lakota West leads it by 5, 26-21. Along with Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. We got to give kudos to our entire staff. Our videographer is Jay Wheeler, our producer, Reed Mouse, the mighty one, and our junior producer, our statistician tonight, Mia Van Winkle, and she's provided you some first half numbers.
She's hustling, yeah. She brought him up right away. So, again, 26-21, Lakota West leading here at halftime. For Lakota West, Firebirds shot 52% in the first half. Their defense was incredible in the half court, forcing the Middies to shoot just 38%. And Luka Gilbert, as we talked about, 8 points, 3 rebounds. On the other side, we have the Middletown Middies, led by Mr. Shields with 6 points. The Middies do have 7 assists, which is very impressive. They're winning the rebounding war, although it be small, but they are winning it 13-11. So look for the Middletown Middies to, again, run some set plays. Look for Coach Moss to really dictate who's shooting the ball. So I think a lot of times in that second quarter, they were taking some shots I don't think Coach Moss liked.
Well, speaking of who's shooting the ball, Isaiah Day only has 3 first-half points. Do you look for a set to set him up here in the second half?
Absolutely. And, again, he's one of their best players, and he's only shot the ball 3 times in the first half.
Middletown will have the ball to start things off here in the second half as they go left to right and attack the south end.
Let's look for that set play you were talking about, Jeff, right here. Coach Moss really good. Iverson cut right off the top.
They disdain him at this point.
Ooh, going for the staggered double.
Day got a quick touch. Blanton now, and now they return it up high.
Now, how impressed are you, Jeff, with Lakota West defense? They guarded the Iverson cut. They guarded the shuffle pass. They guarded the stagger double. I mean, all these different things. Great defense by the Firebirds to start the third quarter.
Well, I'm going to make a very obvious point here. It does help when you have somebody who's 6'7" in the paint.
What did Barber do? He made the mistake of going underneath the screen, which we talked about, and giving Day a 3.
And a good way to get him started his second trifecta tonight, 26-24. 3 to answer back, Luka Gilbert, back in and out.
Barber with a great rebound.
Back to Gilbert to the rack he goes.
The rebound was good, but the ability to stay patient with 2 feet in the paint and not get too excited and make a nice little assist pass to Gilbert.
28-24 as we come up on the minute mark here in this third period.
Barber playing great defense on Day thus far this game, although he went under on that underneath out of bounds play.
Landers off the screen, penetrates to the rack. He goes. It skips out, and now we will head the other way.
Got Cunningham a little over the back here for the Middies. The Middies looking like they're trying to get a little offense off their defense, Jeff, with a little 1-2-1-1 press, being very aggressive with that press.
First on Cunningham, the first of the half. So something that's already evident here in the first minute and change. We did see a setup play for Day.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's a setup play, but they were specifically looking for it.
Oh, yeah, they were going to him.
And Luka Gilbert is making an impression.
Right now, I love seeing teams press like this, trying to get some offense made by their defense.
Barber to trigger against full court pressure. Still looking, and he finds Bryson Curry.
You got to pass to beat it.
And they look up front and throw it away, intended for Lavender. It'll be Delmar Blanton coming up unabated. Middletown at 6-4 this year. A really nice second season for Kelvin Moss with this program. You would talk very glowingly about him coming into this ball game, and as we go towards the basket, we have a blocking call on Lakota West.
Let's see how they guard this underneath out of bounds, where they've given up a fouled three-point shooter and then a wide-open three-point shot, by how they guard the Middies. And he goes under again, but it was a bad pass.
It's Landers off the screen. By the way,
that's a good pass.
Yes, it was, and Day gets 2 more.
Shields with another great pass for the Middletown Middies.
And it's back to a field goal game at 28-26. We were talking about Coach Moss and how he's really rejuvenated things here from Middletown all the way down to the youth level.
Well, Reed Mouse will know this term, Midi Magic. You know, that's what they talk about up there. And I asked Coach Moss, I said, Coach, what is your motto? Everybody has a motto. And he said, it's build/brotherhood. Let's get back to the Midi Magic. And they are building a program with their youth and their middle school. And they want to get that Midi Magic going again, as that town loves its basketball, as we all know.
It's Cunningham looking inside, kicks it outside. Well, they have 6 state titles in their school's history.
Oh, yeah.
6. Drive. Landers. He goes up with a runner, the little half-hearted hook, no good, and he'll go to the line.
Jeff, I was fortunate enough as the head coach at Hamilton High, as we watched Landers go baseline drive here. Just drives, no help, and then almost makes the acrobatic hook. But I was fortunate enough to coach the very last game in Wade E. Miller when I was the head coach at Hamilton. We played the Middletown Middies. You talk about all the 6. They brought everybody back. Lucas, Aldridge, the Edwards brought. You talking about a who's who of basketball when they brought everybody back that night. And I will say this, Jeff, the Hamilton Big Blue, they got the W that night. They opened up. They closed Wade E. Miller on Friday with Hamilton and opened up their new gym on Saturday with Lima Senior.
Meanwhile, Landers 1 of 2, and it's a 1-point ball game. Luka Gilbert flashes it down low and the score. And it goes to... Was that Taylor, by the way? I believe that was Taylor.
It was.
30-27.
Good spacing by the Middletown Middies here.
It's Blanton. Drops it off, lost it.
Barber with the block. Barber's having a great defensive game as Middletown's pressuring 3/4 court.
Drain back up on high, Curry, and they work around the arc and down low, and they try to give back to Taylor. He might have got away with steps. Back out for Drain for three. Back iron and out.
I was getting ready to brag on Barber too, Jeff, and he got that foul, but he's having a great defensive game for the Firebirds. Just great effort, great energy. He's kind of the glue guy. We talked about him a little bit before the game as Lloyd's coming back in, another defensive player for the Firebirds.
You had mentioned about him not playing a year ago. That was partly due to injuries.
Okay.
But I remember him from 2 years ago. We saw him quite a bit. A heck of a shooter from the outside, but he's playing down in the paint right now in the minutes that we've seen him.
Yeah, his strength and basketball is a skilled sport. If you don't live in a gym, as we got a guy that does live in a gym that just shot it there.
Day gets the miss. He'll go to the rack. He is fouled on the way up.
Yeah, Trent obviously put all his effort into football, and he had a heck of a football career here for the Firebirds. But I love the fact that he's coming back his senior year and just trying to give the Firebirds a spark off the bench and that strength and that defense. He can guard not only perimeter players. He's so strong now he can get inside and cover some guys.
Meanwhile, that's too quick on Christopher Barber here in this third period.
Day's shooting percentages, Jeff, let's talk about that real quick. Shoots 84% from the foul line, which is incredible for a high school player. 44% from three and 52% from. This kid is a very, very good scorer, and Taylor University has landed an instant impact player for their basketball program as he misses a free throw, as I jinxed him.
1 of 2 this time on down.
They're pressing off misses to try to get a hurried shot as Lloyd throws it away.
Intended for Barber, and we do head back the other way with 4:02 to play here in this third period. A bucket ties it up, and a made three will give Middletown a lead for the first time here in this second half.
The Firebirds were a little methodical on offense, really patient. This press that Middletown has came out in the third quarter is getting them to play a lot faster than they want. As they run a little Princeton series.
It's Day putting on the deck. He pumps. The fade away from 10 feet out. No good. And the rebound to Bryson Curry.
Barber's making it really, really tough on Day tonight.
Here's a jumper, Drain. One and done from the baseline.
Again, they're getting him in a hurry, Jeff.
Landers, nice turnaround. Oh, he dumps it off for Day, and that's a beauty.
What a great pass. This press has really made the Firebirds shoot quick or turn over. We're getting them in a hurry.
We have our third tie of the ball game, knotted up at 30.
Curry, a great job just holding the ball there out there, trying to get them organized.
It's Drain up top against the double, and now they'll back off to a man. They play to Luka Gilbert, back outside. Three from the corner, misses everything. Barber misses, and here comes Middletown trying to take the lead. Blanton to the rack, he goes and in! Beg your pardon, Landers. Here's Lloyd, who ties it right back up.
Lloyd again with another strength bucket there like he did in the first half where he got fouled.
We have a timeout on the floor with 2:41, and just in the last minute, we've got a tie, 2 ties, and a lead change. So all of a sudden, things starting to pick up here in this crucial third.
They are. Again, Middletown has changed their defense, going to more of a press. They've even pressed off some of the missed free throws, still pressing, making the Firebirds either turn the ball over or shoot the ball quick. But have you noticed, Jeff, in the third quarter, the Firebirds are not getting 1, 2, 3 reversals like they were in the first half. The Middies have got them playing in a hurry.
Well, tempo now starting to favor Middletown, and I think that was the thing that we saw, or we didn't see back in the first half. They had no tempo in the half court as they were headed to the other end. Right. They go to our right, and all of a sudden things have picked up.
They are, yeah. And again, defense can turn into offense really, really quick, especially when you're pressing.
A couple minutes ago, we mentioned that Middletown in their state history has 6 state titles. It's been a minute since they've won one, but get this. So you think about a 12-year stretch in which they win 6. 1946 and 47, 1952 and 53, and 1956 and 57. So think about this. They won 6 titles, 3 times they won them in back-to-back fashion.
Yeah.
How'd you like that as an underclassman going into being a senior?
That's amazing. Their history is right up there with anybody in the state of Ohio as far as basketball.
Trayvon Bryant into this ball game for the first time in the second half for Middletown. Darius Cunningham, top of the key.
That was a set play to create that baseline drive.
Landers the kick out, and they'll reset.
Again, 2 or 3 reversals.
3 on the way, off the front lip, no good for Landers. And here comes Trent Lloyd, here comes Lakota West, ahead of the pack, and some contact.
Yeah, he chopped down. Maldonado chopped down as Lloyd was getting ready to go in and try to draw contact. Lloyd's giving him a spark off the bench here on the defensive end for the Firebirds. Him and Barber are 2 really, really good defenders.
It's 2 on Maldonado. As far as team fouls are concerned, we have 4 on the board for Lakota West and 2 for Middletown. So the Middies doing a lot better than they did in the first half, we think, as we have contact down in the middle of the floor. Trayvon Bryant and Devon Drain getting mixed up.
Yeah, Trayvon kind of got in there and fouled. Trying to get the ball. It's really a tough pass to handle for either offense and defense, but Trayvon with the foul.
You mentioned back in the first half that, especially as a coach, it's frustrating when you see fouls 85 feet away from the basket. What about effort plays at half court?
That one's hard to get upset with. I mean, he was really trying hard defensively, just kind of got tangled up, got his body turned the wrong way. As the Firebirds are now trying to do a little bit more dribble drive, and we're going to foul inside. Barber posting up. Looked like we have Trayvon Bryant, who fouled down inside.
That's his second. And all of a sudden, as we had mentioned that that Middletown wasn't in foul trouble, now they picked up 2 quick, and now team fouls are even at 4. Tied at 32. We've got a good one here in Beckett Ridge tonight.
Yeah, I really like the effort. They're going to try to screen here for Gilbert on the weak side. He's going to flash and then watch Drain screen for him here. Oh, maybe not, stepping in.
Looking inside for Gilbert. Back outside. Lloyd on the catch for 3. He knocks it down.
Lloyd feeling it tonight. Definitely a 3.
8 off the bench for Trent Lloyd, 35-32. Our 4th lead change of the game.
That's Trent's first made 3 of the season.
Here's a drive and a tie-up. Landers going up strong. Tied up by Barberlow on the right end. As you had mentioned throughout this ball game, Christopher is really making his defensive presence known.
Yes, yeah, no doubt. Middletown Middies driving hard, trying to get to that foul line. Both these teams are spreading out and really trying to drive a little bit more in the second half. As Landers, the good-looking sophomore for the Middies, steps up and misses the free throw, shoots 72%.
He's averaging about 13 points a ball game. He's been impressive all around. In fact, we mentioned quick hands, quick feet, 2 assists a ball game, about a steal and a half a ball game. He's doing it everywhere, and from the guard spot, 3.5 rebounds a ball game.
It's definitely a kid you can build your program on. Again, transferred from Clayton Northmont.
Up in my neck of the woods.
Oh, yeah. As Lloyd's breaking the press with the dribble.
He draws a double team and timeout. Jim Leon called for the TO, saw his wide receiver / guard in trouble, and then calls for
now, if
the
that
TO.
was Bolden had some people coming on him and making that pass, he might not have called that timeout, right?
By the way, speaking of Jim Leon, he collected career win number 500 last February 25th, 2022. It was a 73-59 win over Lakota East in the sectionals. And that cemented a title, the sectional title for the Firebirds. Nathan the Duke mentioned that game, home, 35 points.
Oh, yeah. Now, that 500 has, it's got a little bit of a difference to it. He has some AAU wins in there and some other stuff, too.
He was a girls' head coach for a while,
so it's got a lot of different wins in there, but they are wins. And he's been doing it again, 29 years. He's one of the veterans in this league. Coach Leon, how many more years has he got in him? Who knows? He's still got the energy and Kids are playing hard for him right now.
Well, I'm going to tell you at least, and I'm looking at him down on the sideline. I think he's moving around a little better than I am.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the gray hairs are there, though, when you coach games like this on Friday night in the GMC. There's no doubt.
Curry out of the timeout has the ball with 1:15 to play here in the third. Drain has it up high on the right.
I really like this spacing the Firebirds are using here.
L.J. Green got a touch, and now Lloyd with 8 in the book off the bench hands it off. That's Drain, and now they're just playing a little weave up top.
Yeah, they're spacing it out, maybe trying to get the last shot. I would be impressed if they're capable of doing that with way over a minute when they threw it in.
Curry chaps once, twice, puts it on the deck, and now gives it up. L.J. Green, wrap around, down for Gilbert, low on the right end. We've got a charge on the big man Gilbert.
Yeah, Maldonado, I believe that's him down. Getting dirty, Maldonado has got a baseline drive, an extra pass, a fumble, and then backs in, and that's an easy call.
3 on the big man Gilbert.
Yeah, you got Maldonado taking that charge, point guard. I'm telling you now, if you flop like that, they'll call it.
By the way, speaking of fouls, just in this quarter alone, 3 for Gilbert, 3 for Barber. So Lakota West might have to think about substitutions for those young men here in between minutes.
Absolutely. Lakota West has played some zone in the past to protect guys.
Stamper's 3 is short.
He obviously can shoot it.
Oh, the scoop shot in the lane, no good. Here's the putback, no good, and West comes away with it. Taken away, the jumper 15 feet, no good for Landers. And now here comes West with 5 seconds to play. Down to the corner, out to Curry. Curry throws it up at the buzzer, no good, and we go to the fourth. It's a close encounter here in Beckett Ridge tonight, 35-33. We come back for the fourth when we return here on Chatterbox Plus. To the fourth quarter we go, a close encounter here in Beckett Ridge, 35-33. Along with the coach, Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. The difference in this ball game in the first half was probably the big man, Luka Gilbert, who has come off the deck, averaging about 2.5 a ball game. He had 8 first half points and is leading the way for Lakota West with 10. Coming alive in the third period, Trent Lloyd, the New York City Diner, is open.
Lloyd, and not only is he scoring points, he's bringing great defense, which that has been the most impressive thing to me thus far in this game has been the Lakota West Firebirds man-to-man half-court defense.
West with the lead in the ball here to open things up in the fourth period.
They're trying to ice. Middletown's doing a good job of trying to ice and keep on that one. The court's in thirds. They try when they're on the ball on the outside. Middletown's trying to keep them on that outside third of the court, and that's what caused that rough pass there for Firebirds to turn it over here to start the fourth quarter.
Darius Cunningham triggers out in front of his own head coach. Isaiah Day, who came alive in the third, got the touch, and now Delmar Blanton.
Here's that zone I was telling you about, trying to protect some of those guys that are in foul trouble, Jeff, as they're moving around in the zone pretty good.
Skip past the Shields, and they play it back up on top. And they reverse. 3 from the corner, no good for Day.
That's the tough part about the zone, Jeff, is rebounding out of it. You got to get that weak side. As Barber with another great defensive play.
He blocks Blanton, and Lakota West gets the ball back up by 2.
Yeah, rebounding out of the zone, Jeff, is really, really hard. You got to get to the weak side and get bodies on people.
Drive, Curry to the rack, he goes!
What a great move by Curry. He's keeping him on that outside third, but that does allow that drive.
Bryson has 5, 37-33, a 4-point lead for the Firebirds. Landers trying to create. Nice touch pass out to the sideline. Blanton shut off on the baseline, back to Day. Day trying to create around Lloyd, stuck, and now jump pass back over for Cunningham. To the rack he goes, misses, and we've got a foul underneath with 6:31 to play.
That was a really, really good pass by Day, allowing Cunningham to drive the baseline. Very tall, athletic player. He's a senior for the Middies. Going to the line now. Really good-looking player. That was a great pass by Day.
Cunningham to the stripe, no good. By the way, Jason Lavender's in foul trouble. He's got 4. Trent Lloyd comes out, and Jim Leon decides to go big with Luka Gilbert, replacing a wide receiver with a tight end.
And the whole bench stood up for Trent Lloyd as he came out, as he gave the Firebirds a great spark in the third quarter and the start of the fourth.
Cunningham's
See, they're
on the
keeping
board.
him on that outside, Jeff. See that? They're trying to keep everybody over there, but it allows driving lanes as Day gets a steal.
Gilbert's wraparound is taken away.
What a pass.
High-low, and Cunningham chases it down, plays it back,
Look at the defense.
Reset.
Look at their transition.
Day on the catch. He fires, no good, short right, and now we head the other way.
I am just impressed. The transition defense to stop the reversals, to close out on the drivers.
So the foul's on Darius Cunningham. It was in the book. He was 1 of 2 his last time down at the line. And got his first point of the night.
Shoots 50%, so there's 1 of 2.
37-34. Still a 1 field goal game. 2 minutes deep into this fourth.
Maldonado with some really, really good pressure defense there. Let's see if they get the ball reversed.
Nice spin dribble, Barber.
Charge.
Outside and a charge.
Maldonado with another charge. And he stood in the paint, and his guy went out to the weak side. What great help side position Maldonado was.
That's 4 on Barber. He's also in foul trouble, along with Lavender saddled with 4.
He left his feet. And Maldonado slid right underneath and got the charge. Getting the ball reversed. There's that shuffle screen, staggered double. And then bringing Day on the weak side here. And I'm telling you, Lakota West is really covering that up really well.
Barber has an assignment on Day. Maldonado plays back to Day.
This is the ball screen continuity that Sean Miller runs down at Xavier University.
Maldonado puts it on the deck, dumps it off. Landers with 5:15 to play. He pumps 12 feet away.
What a tough shot. That's a great pull-up for a sophomore. Another charge.
So Luka Gilbert, a bull in a china shop, turns it over.
Day, who's normally the offensive guy for the Middies, steps in as he drops his shoulder. If you drop your shoulder like that, they're going to call it. I know Coach Leon is frustrated, but he dropped his shoulder, as we just seen on the replay there. And Day did a great job of stepping over and throwing his body on the line. Those are championship plays as they're still down 1 point with 5 minutes to go.
Luka Gilbert has 4 personals tonight. Christopher Barber also with 4. Jason Lavender with 4. At some point, if you're Jim Leon, you got to be worried if you're running out of players.
Well, and Barber's guarding Day, so that's the tough part.
3 for Maldonado from the corner, in and out.
Look up. Missed him.
Curry gets the ball for Lakota West. Up by 1. Lost it, and Maldonado traveled. So couldn't get the timeout in time, is guilty of steps on the rollover.
You hate using timeouts to save possessions, but Jeff, when it's 37-36, you can't blame Coach Moss for trying to burn one right there to save that possession.
You know, as close as this game has been, as Barber triggers, Lavender still out there, and now Drain has it. We've only had 4 lead changes and 3 ties. Gilbert, short corner, no. Shields the rebound. Middletown trying to take the lead down by 1.
Good timeout by Coach Moss, yeah.
4:13 to play. And I'm going to go back to the point on exchanges, right, of the lead, or ties. 3 ties, 4 lead changes tonight. But the way this one is played throughout this whole ball game, it's going to be a possession that it comes down to.
It is, yeah. That's like I was saying earlier. Coach Moss trying to burn that possession or timeout to save the possession, although the Middies turned the ball over. I mean, every single possession is crucial right now. You got to talk to your guys about who's taking the shots. Like, nothing against some of the guys for the Middletown Middies, but if I'm Coach Moss, I'm saying, guys, we got to run everything through Day. Barber's got 4 fouls. We got to run everything through Day right now on the offensive end. And then for the Firebirds, they've been pretty balanced on their scoring. with everybody on the team really kind of chipping in. Lloyd, who is out right now, how long is Coach going to leave him out? I mean, he's been a great spark, not only on the offensive end, but been a great defender as well. So, and Lloyd can guard Day. So if you want to take Barber off of him, let Lloyd come in, save Barber from getting in that foul trouble. But like you said, Geoff, every single possession is so important right now for both teams.
It's a tight one, and very blessed for our first game of the new year to have such a good game tonight.
Yeah, talking to Reed a little bit at halftime, I mean, this is really a great game. Although we wanted to see Dukovic, which was great, but we are seeing some great high school basketball, 2 GMC teams battling it out. And they're going to the sophomore. Look at this. Look at this.
Landers.
Wow.
And the lead changes back to Middletown.
Coach Moss says, I'm not listening to anything Coach Van Winkle says about going today. I'm going to my sophomore.
5th lead change of the night.
You know, he might have wanted to go away from Barber, who because he's playing great defense too. But what a great set play by Coach Moss on timeout.
Here's Barber high up the window, and the lead changes back.
And that's his bread and butter, Geoff. You called it earlier in the game. He loves catching it there at the elbow and then driving left.
6 for Barber, 39-38. Drive, Landers stuck in the kickout. Day gets a touch, gives it up, gets it back.
Good patience by the Middies. Who's taking the right shots?
3 from the corner to knock it down. Isaiah Day strikes.
Maldonado with a one more pass. And what a trigger, as you would say, for Day to get that thing off quick. Didn't even bring it down past his eyes.
7th lead change, 41-39. With 3 to play. It's Gilbert stuck in the corner. He puts it on the deck. He draws a double low left.
Almost a travel. Yeah, there's that gap help.
Let's see if they go back to Gilbert. And they do, out on the corner. He faces up, drives, and we have a foul. We do.
It was. That's a good call. He was moving. He was moving. That would have been Maldonado's 3rd charge, and I love it. But he was shuffled his feet a little bit there. So, as we've seen on the replay, he just wasn't quite set. This is where it's tough for the Firebirds too, Geoff, because usually they got number 13 that they can rely on taking some shots here at the end of the game, and with Dukovic being hurt.
And 3 guys in foul trouble.
And
what do
slip.
you do?
Nice play.
Oh, Barber low left again.
Nice slip play. Great out of bounds. Little triangle inside action. Barber's a screen slip. Great bounce pass from the Firebirds.
5th tie of the ball game, knotted up at 41. Landers plays back Day. Baseline drive to the rack. He's rejected. Here comes West. Curry up ahead, drain, low left to the rack. He goes!
Barber with the huge block that allowed the Firebirds in transition to score.
8th lead change, and here we go again! Chandler Shields knocks it down.
Oh!
Wow!
And he calls a foul. What a block. What a block. Look at this transition. You score, hurry up. Here we go. And he throws it. That is, woo. Not sure he got him on the body there, but what about the Firebirds, though? They get scored on and get the ball out and make 2 passes and get the ball up the floor as fast as they possibly can.
So Chandler Shields, for the time being, saves a 10th lead change. Yes. He picks up the personal, and the first one no good for Drain. What a sequence we have seen here in the last minute.
Absolutely. Drain typically a good free throw shooter for the Firebirds, right around 78%, as the referees are worried about just making sure everybody has a clean game. Barber started the whole initial up and down with that block on Day.
Drain to the line, trying to tie it up, and does. Knotted up at 44. Our 6th tie of the night.
Coach Moss has Coach Edwards as his associate head coach.
Bill Edwards Jr.,
and he is the offensive coordinator, I was told. So he needs to look back at Coach Edwards and tell him to dig into his bag of tricks, because the Middies got to get some good offense here.
Blanton stuck at the free throw line on a double team, and we have a minute to catch our breath. I'll tell you a little bit about Bill Edwards Jr. Drive to the rack, no good. Landers will go to the line with 1:27 to go.
All 5 people on the three-point line for the Middies, which allows these, look at everybody out spaced out, allows these driving lanes. And again, the Firebirds have done a great job all night of really getting into gaps. That time they did not. Is that the 10th? That's the 5th foul there.
Jason Lavender fouls out with 2 points.
And how many more guys we have in foul trouble, you said, Jeff?
Well, we do have Christopher Barber with 4 and Luka Gilbert with 4.
Yeah,
so that comes – it's one thing to have guys in foul trouble, but they're all up front.
And they are. It's the big guys that have been playing great defense, especially Barber. You know, the Defensive Player of the Year is something I fought for extremely hard as a coach in the GMC, and they finally got it. I would think Barber has to be one of those guys that's going to be maybe up for that award in the GMC, as he's really done a great job tonight.
He has defended the block very, very well. No good. 2 misses the rebound to Gilbert.
Flat. Both of them were very, very flat on the shot there.
Those are pressure shots,
Oh, they
too.
are. And, Jeff, it's 44 all with 1:15 to go here. Both teams spreading out, trying to get into the gaps, putting pressure on that defense. Who's going to be the weak link here for the Middies?
Drain plays back, Curry.
Uh-oh.
And exceedingly good defense. And Isaiah Day, nothing more than a hand check. I guess it'll be a blocking call on Isaiah.
Yeah, but it puts him at the foul line. And again, Jeff, we talked earlier about fouls far from the basket. That's one that Day wishes he didn't have, as they were playing solid D. But what I noticed at that last possession was Coach Moss was not going to just watch his guys chase around. They started trapping some of them handoffs and really forcing the Firebirds to make decisions.
Big free throws up here, front end. No good on one and the bonus.
He's going to get a timeout here.
Timeout with 51.9 seconds left to go here in this ball game in regulation. If you are Kelvin Moss, you play for a final shot at the buzzer.
I do, personally. He's got the team that can handle the ball for a minute. They do have some timeouts left. They have 2 left. Do they take it all the way down? This is where the chess match is, Jeff. Do they take it down to about 20 and call another timeout? And then if you're Coach Leon, when that happens, do you come out and play a zone instead of playing man? This is where the chess match is. Again, Coach Leon's not worried about fouls right now with the little time we have left with over 50 seconds. The Firebirds have played great, solid defense. The only thing that I've questioned, and I've called it out a couple times, is them going underneath some of those doubles and those Iverson cuts and allowing the Middies to shoot open threes.
Well, one thing that is for sure as we're looking at the back seconds of this timeout, your point guard on either side, especially if in this case you're in Middletown, has got to have ice water in his veins.
He does. He's got to be a leader. Ice water in his veins. But I want to see who's going to guard Day. When we walk out right now, what Firebird is going to guard Day? Do you think it's going to be Trent Lloyd, or do you stay with Barber with 4 fouls? I mean, that's the question. I think it could be Barber because he is your guy, and he's smart, and he's played really smart. I don't know if I would take him off of it right now. He's a senior. And the other thing that Barber would probably tell Coach, no, I got it. Because it's going to be Day going for the shot, although they went to Landers last time. But to your point, Jeff, can they hold it for 51.9 seconds to get the last shot to Middies?
Blanton triggers out of the timeout. Here we go with 50 to play.
We should be able to tell early here if that's what they're doing.
Maldonado has the assignment holding the ball, plays Day, and guess who has the assignment on him? It's Barber.
Yeah, they're running their spaced out stuff. They're not even looking to shoot right now. They're going to get it down to about 15 and call a timeout, maybe 20. If I was to guess here, as we got 26 seconds to go. Lloyd, don't pick up a cheap one here.
Landers checked by Lloyd. 20 to play. Trying to create some space. Maldonado hands
timeout. No, they're going to play. They're going to play.
Play on. Here's the drive and the back out.
Maldonado.
Here's 3 for Maldonado off the mark. The rebound, the putback for down.
Running Run it up.
Landers answers with 4.7 seconds left to go.
Who called the timeout? I believe Middletown called that timeout. That is an interesting concept as the weak side rebound, which was unbelievable. Landers coming up with a great play, the weak side rebound. Coach Moss called that timeout. You know why? Last 2 or 3 possessions ago, Middletown scored a big bucket, and Lakota West ran it out. As we watch now, look at the weak side rebound, patience. They call a timeout. Few possessions ago, Geoff, Lakota West got it out as fast as they could and got up, and remember, got to the foul line. So maybe Coach Moss is like, you know what, I want to set my defense up and not allow them to do that to us again. I don't see the time now. Do you remember, was it a 7.8, 7.9 seconds?
I think it was about 5 seconds left to go, approximately.
Okay, around that. So I tell you what, that was a great timeout by Coach Moss. People don't understand. That was an incredible timeout to set your defense up, I believe, for the Middies. Now let's see if it pays off for them.
Similar in vein, if you remember the overtime game we had at Fairfield a year ago, Logan Woods hit one with about 5 seconds left to go at the free throw line, and they held on for dear life at the end.
Absolutely. So they're running a zone press here too, which is definitely something Coach Leon was not talking about. It's a 1-2-2 press with 6.7 seconds to go. They may match up out of it.
Crane down the sideline, 4 to play.
You got to pass it.
He'll throw it
there
down
it is.
To Taylor at the buzzer and in! We are tied!
That's what happens when you double. You have to pass, and he made the pass. What an incredible. They're doubling the ball, and you got to pass out of that. And what a pass. He didn't even know he was going to get it. And he scores the bucket to put this thing in overtime.
We go to overtime, tied up at 46. Mercy. The last time Middletown was on this floor, it was an overtime game as well. They lost in that one, however, to Sycamore in the sectional final last season.
And going into overtime, Geoff, the Firebirds have 13 turnovers. The Middies, only 6. Only 6.
Tonight we have seen 9 lead changes and 6 ties. We've had an enjoyable one tonight here in Beckett Ridge. So a retip, Isaiah Day and Luca Gilbert. Tap is controlled by Lakota West, and away we go in overtime.
The Middies playing that man-to-man defense. Towards the end of the fourth, they start trapping some of them handoffs, but now they're going to go back to the solid mano-a-mano, man-to-man, as Maldonado is really, really good on the ball defender.
Barber,
that's his
and
5th.
Knockdown. That is an elbow.
That is Maldonado's 3rd charge that he has taken. It's not going to show up in the scorebook or the newspaper, but that is 3rd charge, and he got it on Barber, which Barber fouls out, and he is arguably the best defender for Lakota West Firebirds. That was a big-time play by Maldonado.
And you don't want to even say that was a tough one. Barber clearly put out that chicken wing.
He put the chicken wing, as you call it, and the shoulder, man. He got both out there.
I mean, he got his money's worth.
It made it easy for the referee to call it. But they jumped that by switching. Instead of going mano-a-mano, like I said, they switched that handoff screen, allowed him to do it. Now let's see what the Middies do. They clear out on the weak side.
Blanton from 10 feet away, in and out.
Maldonado keeping the ball alive.
He gives it up. He gets it back. He triggers for 3 off the mark.
Over the back.
And now we head the other way.
You almost want to see Maldonado hit that after getting that charge, keeping the ball alive on that offensive rebound, and then has a wide open 3. But for the Middletown Middies, Blanton going over the back on that weak side rebound and not really getting position.
Delmar Blanton picks up his first personal of the night. 1 in the bonus here. Knotted up at 46. And we'll get another shot. We mentioned a minute ago that we had 6 ties in the ball game. My mistake. 7 ties in this ball game.
And junior Drain steps up and drains his first free throw here in overtime.
The next one is up and through. He gets them both.
Nope.
10th lead change of the night. Tapped out to the sideline, and Middletown will retain possession quarter court.
Again, we talked about Coach Edwards earlier. Middletown, great.
The Bill Edwards Jr. played over at Miami. His dad over at Wright State.
Yep, absolutely. And he's the associate head coach, Coach Moss tells me, and the offensive coordinator.
Landers. And like I said, when the game gets a little less tense, I have a little story about Bill Edwards. And a foul underneath, and Gilbert's gone.
Sophomore driving the baseline, clears it out, goes right at Gilbert. That's an easy call. I'm telling you, these are plays that they're calling. I mean, these are organized set pieces coming hopefully from Coach Edwards, but definitely from Coach Moss. Coach All-Start is the defensive coordinator. He's standing up right now in front of the bench, as we see on our camera. We just zoomed out, but he's telling the Middies what they're going to do defensively.
Landers makes the first.
That looked better, although all of them looked flat lately for him on these free throws because he missed 2 in a row earlier.
By the way, we mentioned Luka Gilbert's done for the night, his 5th personal. He ends his night with 10 points. And the next one is good, and we are tied once more.
And they're going to this 1-2-2 again, bringing it back a little bit. It looks like they're matching up man-to-man now.
8th tie of the ball game. Knotted up at 48. A battle of attrition tonight, and if you're Lakota West, a lot of gumption.
It is.
They were already missing Nathan Dudukovic to start the ball game, and they have lost 3 players to fouls tonight. Here's Lloyd, stuck, and we've got a whistle.
He slid his body. Lloyd did a great job. If you watch this replay, he did a really good job of sliding his body right at the end. Watch this. Just slows down, slides his body, and gets the foul block call on the floor. Not on the floor, I apologize. She was shooting motion, 2 shots. Although they're in 10 fouls anyway, so they're shooting 2. But
so both in the double bonus, 4 on Isaiah Day. And Lloyd to the stripe.
Lloyd's a 70% free throw shooter. We got a nice student section over there for Lakota West. Looks like they're doing the ESPN theme tonight.
So I have a little story about that as we wait for Lloyd here. The seniors were basically assigned, if you were going to sit down front, as Lloyd makes 1 of 2, that you were to dress up in a sport coat and a fake headset to be a sportscaster tonight.
That's right.
And that was mentioned on Twitter. I responded by saying they're going to look better than the actual sportscasters.
That's
tonight.
true. And what great defense there for Bryson Curry.
49-48 on 1 of 2 by Trent Lloyd at the line with 2:20 to go.
We're going to post Landers up. Let's cut him through here. Let him play some one-on-one in the post.
To the rack he goes!
Did a great job of post feeding and then cutting off of it to allow him to play one-on-one in the post. Use his left hand. Great finish.
11th lead change as we come upon 2 minutes left to go in overtime.
Boy, Maldonado and Lloyd going at it. Maldonado switching everything at the top, so he's guarding the ball.
Drain has it, looking inside, gets a back screen from L.J. Green, and now they play to the near side.
And honestly, Jeff, there's guys out there for the Firebirds who normally aren't in the game right now.
It's Lloyd, low left, and this one tapped out. It will stay up front. Intended for Taylor. And now we have a substitution. We haven't seen Kellen Davis in a little while. He'll check in for the Middies.
Yeah, they tried to get him in on that free throw earlier, and they couldn't. Like I mentioned, Jeff, there's guys in for the Firebirds now that don't play a lot of minutes. But, boy, they're in a crucial time right now in overtime with the Middletown Middies.
It's Drain between the rings. You imagine that he's going to find a way to create towards the hole. given the personnel out on the floor.
They're keeping that ball on the outside third as much as they can as he gets another one. Oh, he got to travel. I thought Maldonado had his, fifth charge, but.
Well, and it looked like the chicken wing came out for Trent Lloyd.
Shuffled his feet. Angelo's Lotos, referee, veteran referee with the call over there. Angelo's one of the best in the business. One of the most calm, demeanored guys I've ever met.
Middletown with a 1-point lead in the ball.
What a pass.
It's Blanton outside. You don't have to take a shot
here. They won't take a shot till they get fouled. Whoa!
Or turn it over. With 1:06 to play.
He left his feet to throw it. He thought Maldonado. Maldonado was up there, but he started coming in as Coach Leon wants a timeout. He's going to have to probably take a full here.
So we were talking about Bill Edwards Jr., who played over at Miami. His dad was an outstanding player for Wright State. He was, I believe at that time they were still in the Midwestern Collegiate Conference, or they might have been still in the Mid-Continent Conference. That's how long ago Bill Edwards played over at Wright State. But Dad came out of there, helped Wright State to their first ever Division I tournament. I actually have a picture of both Bills, with the younger Bill no taller than, half my torso.
When I retired from coaching, Geoff, a lot of people said, who was the best player you ever coached against? And Vince Edwards, who ended up going to Purdue, was a triple-double machine. He was a great rebounder, an incredible passer, and then one of the best scorers in Middletown history. And I tell you, he was an even better person. He was a great kid, fun to coach against. We had some wars, and that whole Edwards family is legacy in the Middletown basketball era.
Of course, it goes without saying, some of the other greats, and speaking of family acts, right? Mm-hmm. Butch Carter, of course, he went to Indiana. His younger brother, who is a little better known for football, Chris Carter, was an outstanding basketball player.
And they were all there that night, that last game. You talking about some athletes walking out. Aldridge, Carters, Edwards, Lucas. The great Paul Walker obviously was looking down on everybody because he was the man. I don't know how many wins he had in high school, but he was incredible. You got it. 695. Holy smokes.
1 minute to play.
Here we go.
Lakota West down by 1, but they have the ball.
And people are asking, why are they holding it out here down by 1?
Drain off the curl.
The deal is they want to get a good shot. They're only one possession away from winning the game.
Taylor back over for Bryson Curry. Curry, shake and bake, back to Taylor. Stuck on the side pocket with 35 to play.
Looks like out of the timeout, Coach Leon's trying to get them to get in the gaps, and the Middies are playing great. Oh, here he gets in the gap.
Drain to the rack, taken away. Middletown on the move, off ahead. It goes to Blanton. He gives it back to Dave.
They need a 3. 14 seconds. It can't be a 1 or 2.
Here's a drive. Curry misfires.
There you go.
Outside. 3 to tie. Mercy. Trent Lloyd answers back with 1.2 to go.
Holy cow. What a great offensive rebound. And you're always told, kick it out. And he does. Lloyd jacks it up. And bam, baby. What a spark off the bench for the Lakota West Firebirds. Mr. Trent Lloyd ties it up. Holy cow. What a great game.
I'm looking over at the mighty one, and I'm asking him, is this an instant classic?
This is unreal. Unreal. I mean, I wanted to kind of maybe get home a little bit early tonight because I got a couple games in the morning. But, man, this is definitely well worth it. Watching two just incredible high school teams just going at it. And that was interesting to see the Middletown Middies as they got that block and then in transition went ahead and attacked the rim instead of maybe pulling it out and making a foul or something. But what an effort.
We're tied up again in overtime. Our 9th tie. Knotted up at 52 on a made three by Trent Lloyd with under 2 seconds of play in extra innings.
And was that L.J. Green that got the offensive rebound?
Yeah, I believe it was. And then the send out over to Lloyd, left of the key for the answer.
6'5" sophomore who typically, statistically, doesn't play a ton. He's been in all the games. But, boy, he's getting good minutes tonight. So what do you do here? You throw the ball to Day, let him be an athlete, see if he's got time to catch it and shoot it. Every coach has a play like this in their books.
They're going to reset the clock to 2.2 seconds.
Yep, usually the guy who screens and then slips, it looks like they're going to try to back screen a Day and then throw the ball right down in front of the Middletown Middie bench. They're going to use Maldonado as a decoy.
Planting the throw. It goes to Maldonado, and he can't get the shot up.
Holy cow, he stepped out.
He stepped out.
And he made that. He stepped out. There's going to be more time on the clock as they're asking, at least 2 seconds.
So
we'll see.
He got the ball, stepped out on the sideline, and it's a shame because the turnaround was,
he made it.
Was a beauty.
He made it from half court. But it didn't count because he stepped out. And I don't know if they're going to give any more time. 1.8, and I don't know where they got that number, but Coach Leon will take it. This is not a timeout. I'm not sure. Did he call one? Yeah, he's going to have to call. Yeah, Coach Leon's going to have to call a timeout, sit him down. 1.8. Now, what do you do right now? Obviously, I just called the wrong play because I thought they were going to go today, but they went to Maldonado there. But if you're the Firebirds, you got to get something right by the basket.
I think Lloyd wants the ball.
Yeah, you got to get something by the basket. Usually the guy who screens and his guy helps, the guy who screens can come back to the ball, which that would be maybe Lloyd setting a shuffle screen and then coming back to the ball. Everybody has these plays, though, Geoff. Right now for Lakota West Firebirds, if they got their varsity assistant, Scott Vanderhyde. He's their offensive coordinator. He's the guy down there right now that's got the clipboard. And Coach Leon's got his hand in his pocket, as cool as the other side of the pillow here. But look he's letting Scott call the play. I did the same thing. Coach Mark Eagle was my offensive guy. I would let him call the play right here. And then that way, Geoff, if we missed it, I could blame it on him, right?
Yes. I'll be honest with you, Coach. I am simply catching my breath.
It is. Yeah, that's good. This is a great game. It looks okay, they're going to have it a little higher up. I thought well, there we go.
So the trigger will come from Curry.
Got the 6'8" guy on the ball. That's a good call by Coach Allstart, the
coordinator.
The D coordinator. Here we go.
Stamper guards the ball handler. Curry to throw in.
Here's Lloyd.
Looking.
You called it.
Finds Lloyd. He pops 35 feet away. No good. We go to double overtime.
And he set the screen. I told you, Lloyd set the screen. His guy came off to help, and then he got the wide open shot.
We're due for a timeout. We'll come back with the second overtime when we return for our game of the week on Chatterbox Plus. Brother, have we got a game for you tonight. Going into our second overtime, knotted up at 52. Along with Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Plus. Jay Wheeler is our videographer. Reed Mouse, the Mighty One, our producer, and our statistician, Mia Van Winkle. And we go to another tip, and this time controlled by Middletown as they go left to right.
And everybody tuning in right now are probably wondering where are all the Firebirds who normally play? And Landers with a nice set play for the Middies right out of the break there.
Tie. And it's a Middletown lead once more at 54 to 52. Our 12th lead change before the shot.
The foul on Maldonado using his chest. Like I was mentioning, Geoff, a lot of people are like, where's Dudukovic? Where's Barber? Where is Lavin? I mean, all these different guys. And you got guys out there now that are L.J. Green, Trent Lloyd, really making a name for themselves. Also checking in is Cooper Taylor, 6'3", junior, as Drain knocks down the first free throw. These guys are stepping up and giving an opportunity. An opportunity, a GMC game on a Friday night, double overtime with the Middletown Middies.
No good. Tap one, saved by Taylor. And the reset, we'll see if it gives Lakota West the lead.
Good spacing for the Firebirds.
Drain to the rack, high off the window, tapped out, and saved. Here's Taylor for three, off the mark. Day the rebound.
Lloyd with a great defensive play. Just doing the little things for the Firebirds.
Got in front of Shields to deflect that one and take it away. 3 to play, 1 point lead, Middletown. It's Lloyd. He's shown a lot of heart here in this ballgame coming out of the bench. Curry pops 12 feet away, in and out. In the back, this one out to Landers, who couldn't get the grease pig, and now they'll have to reset.
Coach Moss wanting to slow down. Run some of the set plays he has. High ball screen here for Day. Maldonado and Lloyd going head-to-head. Two great defenders.
Maldonado, by the way, has 4, so he can't afford to give up anything more, and he's been a big factor tonight on the ball.
Huge. 4 big charges.
Outside, Maldonado from the corner, no good. The rebound to Curry, loose on the floor. It's still loose.
You got to dive on the floor.
And now we got a jump ball.
Goes to the Firebird. Landers trying to pick it up. You got to dive on that ball as it's loose, and you're just standing. Look at Landers standing. You got to get on the ground. Even forced to tie up, although it is the Firebirds' ball because Middletown did win the jump. You want Maldonado to hit one of those, don't you? As the game he's had with the charges and the defense.
And Michael's coming on out, by the way.
Great. Again, Coach All-Start bringing him out, probably because he's got the 4 fouls like you just mentioned, Jeff.
1 point ball game. Firebirds trying to play catch-up here once more.
Keeping it on that outside third.
Drain to Curry.
See him get high. Force him to drive baseline.
Outside.
Uh-oh.
Here's 3 from the corner, and it's blocked out of bounds. Chandler Shields said, no way.
What a great play. He thought he was wide open, and all of a sudden, here comes Shields out of nowhere with the block.
Great catch-up speed to get to that one. Lloyd will trigger from the sideline.
That's a tough spot to throw it in, I'm telling you right now. Very tough spot.
LJ Green dribbles a couple times, has a safety valve, and takes it back outside. 1:36 to play and double overtime. Middletown by 1. Drain, short left and in!
What a shot. Shot it with 2 people guarding him.
Spin dribble to the rack, no good for Blanton, but a putback for 2.
Shields, 6'3" sophomore, blocks a 3, comes up with an offensive rebound and a putback.
Low
out of control. Oh, we got a charge underneath. And that's his call underneath. Is Angelo Zalotos going to overrule Mike Young right here? Mike Young with the charge call, Angelo with the foul. We are going charge. And I believe, honestly, Jeff, that was the right call. He was out of control. How many charges do you think the Middies have taken tonight?
Well, we need a counter for that one.
They're doing a good job. They're keeping them on that outside third, Jeff, which is making them and forcing them to drive those gaps. And you can see Coach Leon tell them, drive. But Middletown's doing a great job in their help defense, stepping over, taking charges, as the Middletown Middies are up 1.
So we have a short timeout right now. We've got 14 lead changes. Count them, 14. We had talked back in regulation, this is how far back it is, about possessions being so critical tonight, and that has been low to bear through the first 32 minutes in regulation, the first 4 minutes in overtime, and the first 2 and change here in the second.
And the Firebirds are doing this with guys that are key contributors, fouling out or injured. And they're right here in double overtime against the Middies, who are really starting to play some great basketball. As Middies sent 6 people out, but now they just got somebody off.
Well, if this was football, that would have been an illegal substitution in 5 yards.
And they're running all over here trying to get open. Maldonado.
Day will trigger. Maldonado's back in the ball game.
Day bounced past that end, which I always think is very, very important.
Drain has the assignment on him. 1 minute to play.
And they do not have to shoot. So right now,
foul.
They knew who they want to foul.
Taylor picks up the personal, a little blocking call as he was defending the ball handler, Delmar Blanton.
Yeah, Blanton shoots 77%. I probably would have tried to foul Shields, but he's not in the game. Again, Moss brought him out, as the Middies have probably their best free throw unit out there, I would guess. Have everybody shooting around 77 to 80%. As he knocks it down. Blanton's right at 77%, Jeff, for the Middletown Middies.
.9 to play. Blanton trying to make it a three-point ball game. He cannot. L.J. Green has it poked away from him from behind.
It was.
And it's a West
He almost, Jamison almost got it, didn't he? He kind of poked it right from behind.
53 to play. Green will trigger.
See, the only thing about picking up 84 feet here is you got to make sure that you don't foul.
Drive to the hoop. Curry to the rack. No good. He draws the foul. With 42.3 to play. Free throws have become so very critical here in extra minutes.
He put that pressure on him and made him drive. Looked out of control, but he ended up getting a foul call.
And Isaiah Day will exit the ball game. He'll exit with 16 points. He was such a critical difference in that all-important third.
He was, and he does so many things. He rotated over there as the Middletown Middie faithful here, giving him a well-deserved round of applause as Day had not only a good offensive game, but a really good defensive game too. And right now we have Curry stepping up, who's not a great free throw shooter at 42%, missing the front end there.
Well, again, as we are one to mention, free throws don't win every game, they just win the close ones.
And they win the big ones. Win the big ones.
Partner, you're going to have a hell of a time picking our play of the night powered by Headline.
I don't have it. I mean, I'm going to let you figure that out.
He missed them both.
Bounced out. Yeah, it did.
With 40.6 to go.
And we still have 2 timeouts, both teams.
Lakota West playing man. And now they'll double the ball handler on the back line. And we get a timeout.
We did, yep.
We did to Middletown. Cool. And a good timeout for Kelvin Moss with 38.2 to go. Partner, before we get back into this ball game, can't wait for the game that we have planned coming on up a week from tonight. It's in Fairfield. Sycamore, the Aviators, will visit the Indians.
Wow. And that's the top half, that GMC we were talking about with Fairfield, Princeton, Sycamore. Really, I wouldn't say it's top heavy. There's only a couple teams up there, but that are really battling out for the GMC title. But that's going to have significant meaning, because somebody's got to knock the Indians off, or they're going to do something that hasn't happened in a long time, and that's win back-to-back-to-back GMC titles. Now, right now, if you're the Middletown Middies, you're making sure you throw the ball in to one of your better free throw shooters, which they have a bunch of them. But they got to space it out, Jeff. They can't catch it down in that corner, and that's why Coach Moss called that. You want to catch it, free throw line extended. So all these guys for the Middies are going to be really high. And again, I always talk about the passer passing it in. I love the bounce pass. It's easier to come and catch than it is that shoulder pass. But he's buried down in the corner, Landers is. But Landers is a really good passer for the Middletown Middies, as they are really spaced out at half court right now.
Out of the timeout, Landers will trigger off his own back line. Checked by L.J. Green.
Great play.
In the middle of the floor. They should go side to side on this one.
Yep. Middletown Middies.
Blanton.
Uh-oh.
Maldonado.
There you go. Hold it. Make him foul you. Make him foul you. Make him foul you.
Blanton.
Yep.
Top of the key, and now we've got a foul with 20.8 seconds left to go. That's a lot of time that came off the board.
What happened on that out-of-bounds play, the press break for Middletown Middies, was really, really good coaching by Coach Moss. He had a couple guys going off some screens, but they threw back to Landers, who's always open. The inbounder's always open, as we have Blanton, the Trotwood transfer, stepping up to try to put this game away for the Middletown Middies.
Junior's got 1 point in the book. Now he's 2.
Hits it. Blanton, again, 77%. Big-time player, only a junior. The Middies are going to maybe steal one here, Geoff, but I tell you what, they had their hands full all night long with these Firebirds.
Trying to make it a 2-possession ball game. He does.
That's the big one. That's the big one.
59-55. West needs a quick score, and then they got to pray a little bit. 3 off the catch for Lloyd. Skips off. Davis the rebound with 11 seconds to go and a foul.
They fouled Davis, get him to the line. Senior, 6'5" senior. Davis at 50%. The Middletown Middie faithful are standing up and giving their guys a well-deserved. Coach All-Star down there trying to get them all to stand up. Now he wants them to settle down as he has his guy. Coach looks like he's the cheerleader of the group here, but what a great night for the Middies and the Firebirds, to be perfectly honest.
Davis to the firing line, and
hits it.
Boy, you know when things are going good for you? It shots like that fall on through.
He's smiling away. Trent Lloyd out there he gave everything he could tonight. No good.
Lane violation. Foot on the line by the shooter. So a 5-point ball game.
He ran backwards. Oh, he shot it.
Yeah, he had a foot on the line.
Yeah.
And it's 60-55. It's not quite over, but boy, you have to get a shot off now. So plays up ahead. Here's Lloyd, a long three. He has it down! And there's the shot you need with 2 points still left to go with 4.8 left to go.
They threw it ahead and got a shot off quick, and they've been doing this all night. Thrown ahead especially on made baskets. Lloyd just steps up, gets a timeout there, 4.8. You were asking about plays of the game, Geoff, and I'm trying to think through it as we still got a little time. There's been a lot of really good offensive plays for sure, and a lot of really good defensive plays. Guys have stepped up, both ends. We questioned who was going to score for the Firebirds. It's been by committee. Everybody's kind of chipped in tonight. Pretty balanced scoring for the Firebirds. Lloyd's been a great addition coming off the bench.
15, in fact, off the bench.
Yeah, I mean,
including he had that big 3 at the end of the first overtime, and then he just hit another big 3 from almost 30 feet away, and it's a 1-possession contest. And by the way, in the last sequence, when Middletown had expanded it to 2 possessions, that was the first time that we had seen a score differential of 2 possessions since the start of the second half.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, that tells you how good this game has been. Now, right now, you got to try to get the steal if you're the Firebirds. And it's interesting, the Middies have their worst free throw shooter taking it out, which is very smart. And they got their 4 really good free throw shooters moving around.
Davis
and bounces it in.
And the foul. Delmar Blanton is fouled with 3.4 to go. Fouled by Taylor. And 2 makes here will seal things up.
Kellen Davis with a great bounce pass in right there. Delmar Blanton steps up. He's been big for the Middies on the defensive end tonight.
And he had ice water his last time on down to make free throws. Again, as we mentioned, they don't win every game. They just win the close ones.
Yeah, these are big here.
No good, and Lakota West has life.
Lakota West has a timeout. Lakota West has a timeout. Coach Leon has the referee right in front of him right now trying to figure out what he's going to do. On a make, is he going to call it? On a miss, is he going to call it? I think he calls it no matter what.
Jamison comes out. Chandler Shields takes his place in the Middie lineup. And that's one up and good. 1 of 2. And you need a desperation 3. Whatever's in your bag of tricks to get somebody open.
Now, what do you do here if you're Middletown? Now, if they throw it and it's deep and they catch it in this side of the half court, in other words, on Lakota West side, in the front court, you can't do anything if you're Middletown except play. If they throw the ball in the back court for some reason, Lakota West, I foul them right away. Do not let them get a three-point shot off. I foul them, but it's got to be in the back court. Now, Middletown has a young team, so this is a teaching moment here. Are they going to let them shoot it or not? But if they throw that ball in the back court, I foul them. If it somehow gets close to half court or the front court, I do not foul.
61-58.
They're not fouling. They're just going to guard straight up. I can tell by the way they're guarding them. We'll see.
LJ Green will trigger. And the ball comes in. Taylor back to Green. He fires from half court. Off the mark. And Middletown survives in double overtime. Mercy.
What a game. And what a way to start the new year for Chatterbox. Two really, really good teams. Everybody was wondering what in the world was going to happen with the Firebirds with the Dukovic not being in the game. And what happened was a bunch of guys stepped up. They had great balanced scoring. And the Firebirds found a way to put it to 2 overtimes. But the Middletown Middies found a way to win it. And they won it making free throws at the end, Jeff.
Middletown improves to 7-4 on the season. As Lakota West falls to 4-8, they've dropped their 4th in a row. Partner, I'm going to catch my breath here for a second before we get on to our normal histrionics. It's been heroics by different people tonight. Early in the ballgame, Luka Gilbert showed up in the first half. Michael Maldonado made his defensive presence really shown up. Before he fouled out, Christopher Barber was something. Trent Lloyd had ice water in his veins shooting the basketball on our left end. A lot of heroes tonight.
I know it went to double overtime, and I know a lot of guys made some big plays. But tonight, for me, it was all about defense. The Firebirds played incredible half-court man-to-man defense. It was extremely impressive. And for me, I know are you gonna ask for play of the game? Can we get there now, or do you want to wait?
Wait.
Okay, but it's been about defense on both ends, and I think Middletown Middies stepping up and hitting them free throws at the end to seal the game was very, very impressive for the Middies tonight.
We saw a little bit of everything, and you got to give a lot of credit to Lakota West for hanging in. They were already down a man. They're arguably the best scorer in Southwest Ohio, Nathan Dukovic, coming into the ballgame, and then they lose 3 frontline guys and still hung around to double overtime. I don't know about you, but if there's any question about heart and hustle for Lakota West, it was answered tonight.
It was. An opportunity was given. So guys like Trent Lloyd, who hasn't been playing a ton, quite honestly, stepped up, had some opportunity with some golden minutes tonight, and he did a great job for Lakota West. And, I mean, you hate seeing a kid get hurt, especially a kid like the Dukovic. I think all of us were excited to see him play tonight, and we hope that he becomes healthy really fast. And I guarantee that Coach Leon is thinking the same thing. According to his mom, he's going to be back quick. Wasn't just quite ready tonight. But, yeah, so opportunity for Lakota West. The biggest thing for me for Lakota West tonight was their man-to-man defense. I thought was really incredible.
Time now for our play of the game, powered by Headline Sportswear. Partner, I'm going to give you a couple choices, and then it might be something that's not one of the choices. Obviously, the buzzer beater to send us in overtime, and then the Lloyd 3 with a second and a half left to go in the first overtime, or is it something else?
I'm going to give you something that's going to make you mad because you're not going to be able to do this and clip it. It was the 4 charges Maldonado had. He took 2 of them to get 2 great players out, which was Barber for Lakota West. He took that charge to get him out, and he also took the charge to get Luka Gilbert out of the game. 2 charges out of his 4 to eliminate 2 of the best players for Lakota West. To me tonight, Maldonado was incredible on defense, and those were huge plays, especially making Lakota West go deeper and deeper to their bench.
Game went 2 hours and 15 minutes tonight, and boy, we had a marathon, but it was as fun as you could possibly imagine. Hard to imagine any other game that we see for the rest of 2023 match up to it. It was that good tonight here. As it turned out, right, it really came down to driving layups on both sides, and most notably Jeremiah Landers with free throws towards the end of the ball game. He had a game-high 19 to pace everybody.
Yeah, Coach Moss said he was one of the best sophomores in Southwest Ohio, so it was nice. Maybe a coming-out party for him, but it was really nice seeing him step up and make some big plays.
Well, it was Landers and then Blanton in double overtime with some big free throws as well to really seal the deal. Final thoughts on this one?
Got lucky. I'm glad we're back in the saddle here for Chatterbox, watching the games. And, again, 2 really good teams in the middle of the pack of the GMC, which is the best conference in Southwest Ohio. Looking forward to watching some more games here in the next coming weeks. It's going to get real ugly in January. A lot of really, really good games, and it's really this is what gets you set up for February and March is these tough games in January.
Well, as we saw tonight, both schools battle-tested officially in this double-time matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Partner, can't wait to see you for Week 8.
Love it. J.D. Faust, athletic director for Middletown, just tapped me on the back. One of the best players in the business. His drive home tonight is going to be nice and easy.
It sure is. We'll see you for Week 8. And again, the final in double overtime tonight. 61-58, Middletown survives. They improved to 7-4 on the season. Lakota West falls to 4-8. Jeremiah Landers led the way with 19 points. Thanks go out to our videographer, Shane Wheeler, to our producer, Reed Mouse, and to our statistician, Mia Van Winkle. We'll see you next Friday in Fairfield for the Indians and the Aviators. For my partner, Sean Van Winkle, I'm Geoff Kim. Good night from Beckett Ridge.